Marketer of the Day, Episode 701. Awareness, Actions, Vulnerabilities, Engagements. Communicate effectively and design your mind to be kind with Elizabeth Berry.
Hello, everyone from Marketer of the Day podcast and Robert Plank. This is Elizabeth Berry, and I have some secrets that I want to share with you today about my latest and greatest ideas that are exclusively for you, the listeners, on the Marketer of the Day podcast. Now, you may remember me because I've been speaking with Robert Plank now. I think it was 2 podcasts that we've done, and on both of them I talked about my recent books, Own Your Vulnerability and The Kind Communicator. But my new secrets and my new tips are coming straight to you just before I publish my next book, which is going to be called Design Your Mind to be Kind. The 3 habits of effective communicators and the 7 personalities that we can take on in order to exude those qualities, those values that we can take on to be effective communicators. And to be a woman at 41 publishing a book on communication, someone who's been in corporate, someone who's been an entrepreneur, someone who's curated 17 TEDx talks and coached lots of speakers to the stage, I know for one thing that we all need to be lifelong learners when it comes to communicating, when it comes to listening, when it comes to speaking our truth, when it comes to saying what we mean and meaning what we say. It's all about being brave and courageous to live in our moment of truth, but to speak it kindly. So I'm going to go over a few things with you that might motivate you to think in a new way. I'm hoping that it's going to inspire you to take a new action. Maybe wake up tomorrow and write an email to someone, or pick up the phone, or to call someone that's going to make your life happier, to make you breathe and smile a little bit better. And it all comes down to designing our minds to be kind through our communication habits. Now, it's also based in nature, right? So inside this next book, I have photography that's been gifted to me by a dear friend. If you want to look him up, he's at Wild Jersey City on Instagram, and he's done macro photography of insects and this great photography of all the birds and all of the wildlife where I live in Jersey City, New Jersey, over Liberty State Park. But there's going to be features of birds in the next book for Design Your Mind to be Kind, because the 3 habits, and all of my work, in fact, is based in nature, but the 3 habits of effective communicators can be found in the nature of birds. It's catching, flying above ourselves, and using our words wisely, like the bird song. So I'm just going to go into that right away with you. Number 1, the first method, the first effective habit of becoming a great communicator and designing your mind to be kind is to follow the catch. And to catch ourselves, it's really difficult, right? If we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, we've been around the block. We're reactors. We have emotions. We're humans. We're not machines. So when things go wrong, when relationships break down, when communication breaks down, we have to learn the art of catching ourselves, catching our words, catching our phrases before they leave our lips, catching our mannerisms before we fold our arms, or before we roll our eyes, or before we huff and puff at the latest thing that really pisses us off, right? So the idea of the catch is twofold. It comes with awareness and action, and an awareness of what it is that we're doing in that moment, right? Because we don't hold up mirrors to ourselves. We don't hold up a video of ourselves every day. So we don't know how to catch ourselves or when to catch ourselves. But the idea is to become aware of the art of the catch. So that awareness can help us understand that we don't have to say things in demeaning ways. We don't have to say things in ways that we don't wish to, and then we can take it back in real time, right? So awareness, the second step to awareness in the catch is action. Awareness is nothing without action. So after you are aware of what you need to catch, this is it creates that action to apologize in real time, or make that real time statement to say, you know what, I really didn't mean for that to come out this way, right? And this catching, it's not always about saying the wrong things, right? It's also about catching ourselves, holding our words in. A lot of us want to say things to people, but we're guilty. We don't have boundaries, and we just let people walk all over us, or we're too afraid that we're going to hurt someone's feelings, so we hold whatever that is inside, and you become a ticking time bomb. So remember to catch yourself not only by saying something outwards, but by holding whatever it is in. All right. So the second habit of designing your mind to be kind is to fly above yourself, just like the birds when they put their wings out. Now, flying above yourself in any moment of greatness or any moment of weakness is really important, because it gives us a chance to get in touch with our humility. It gives us a chance to get in touch with the things that we're not so great at, the things that we're weak at, the things that we're not so proud of. It's our most vulnerable moment. So flying above ourselves really gives us the essence of vulnerability to say to ourselves, hey, I wasn't really good at that. How can I do it better next time? And the only way that you can do that is by, in an imaginary sense, flying above yourself in moments of stress, of obstacle or challenge, of a communication breakdown, when relationships falter, and you can actually see how you react. This is a real-time, practical, tactical tip so that you can see how you show up in this world. Right? And a tip that I usually give to my clients when I'm coaching them, when they're not so proud of how they reacted, or they're on their phones in a meeting, or things that they're not really proud of, and they say, how can I get better? So I say to them, when you fly above yourself in any moment that you're not so proud of, think not only of that person above you as you. Think of your greatest mentor. Think of what they would see if you're in a distressful moment or saying words that you didn't mean to say. So that now plays into it, now marries and marinates with the first effective habit, which is to catch yourself. So to catch yourself, to find the awareness, to take action, and then to fly above yourself in an imaginary sense. This is all marinating and coming into play as your beautiful sense of kindness as a human being. Now, the third habit of effective communicators is what I like to call use your words wisely. Like a bird song, right? When you go outside and the birds are singing in the trees, it's really, really, really nice. And what you want to do is use your words wisely in all communication. That also plays into the opportunity for you to really take a hold of the words that you're using. Sometimes we don't even think that we're being demeaning or demoralizing to ourselves. Some of us are using this chatter that's negative. Some of us have this chatter that's going on inside of our minds that actually comes out, and we're using the words that are against ourselves. So these tactics, these tips for designing your mind to be kind are not only an outward way to speak to other people, but they're also lessons for us to see how we're speaking to ourselves, to see how we're listening to ourselves and taking care of ourselves. This is a form of self-care. So when you catch your words, you use your words wisely, you are gaining the ability for real-time engagement. You're gaining the ability for awareness. You're gaining the ability to become a better person in the moment, in real life time. So, and the second thing about using your words wisely is that I want you to think about when you are in conversation with someone else. Think about how you might put yourself down. Think about your self-worth. Think about how you reflect on who you are as a human being, especially in corporate America or as an entrepreneur. Self-worth, how worthy are you? And how is that coming out in the words that you use? So choosing your words wisely it's just such a multitude of opportunities for us to really listen to ourselves and how we speak. And going into the listening, the art of listening to when we raise our voice when we don't have to, or when we're talking too low, when we need to speak our truth. This is all coming into play. Communication is a very complicated thing. It's a very complicated, very deep-leveled way of coming into our adulthood, coming into our career, coming into our career transition, coming into our best selves, or living what I call the life fulfilled. It's really having an understanding of showing up the way you really want to show up in this life. And if you're not happy with it, making those changes, getting over the shame, getting over the guilt, and saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to do that again. And whether you say it to yourself, whether you whisper those words to yourself, whether you find a moment of gratitude, these are all ideas and tactics that you can take home today, specifically on the Marketer of the Day podcast, so that you can design your mind to be kind. Now, I'm hoping that you can reflect back on those 3 traits and those 3 habits. I'll give them to you again. The first thing is to catch yourself. Catch yourself in every area of your communication habits. Number 2 is to fly above yourself in real time, to see how you're showing up, to see the words that you use, and to listen to yourself, and to see yourself from an imaginary standpoint, maybe 10,000 feet above, and say, is that how I really want to show up in life? And the third thing is to use your words wisely, to make sure that everything that leaves your lips becomes something of grace, becomes a moment of character for yourself, becomes something of integrity. And if it's not, there's no need to feel shame. There's no need to fall down or to feel bad. There's always a wonderful opportunity to say to yourself, I am going to be vulnerable to own that mistake. I'm going to be vulnerable to own that fallacy, that flaw, and I'm going to do better next time, because that's the practice of it. So many people are on social media sharing quotes and sharing memes and sharing articles of joy, abundance, and big words like integrity and respect, but they're so deep, there's so many levels deep that we really have to not only say them and share them and read articles and read books, but we have to do the work. Now, the work is really when the transformation takes place. You can't read something and then think to yourself you're going to be better. It's really the practice and the art of putting in the time to reflect every single day on how you can be a better person and be a better communicator. And by all means, I hope that you pick up my next book. It's going to be coming out in the winter of 2019, maybe even making it for a holiday gift. It's called Design the Mind to Be Kind. You're hearing it from me first on Marketer of the Day podcast, thanks to Robert Plank. My name is Elizabeth Barry. My work is based on the kindness innovation, the kind communicator, and teaching, educating, inspiring, empowering, and invigorating the sense of self and the sense of character and integrity for all of us to look at each other in the eyes and to see ourselves as souls, and to connect rather than divide, to connect rather than to compete, and to connect rather than find a division or a separateness in who we are as individuals, and live what I call the life fulfilled. Now, there's so much more that's going to be in that book. There's 7 personalities. There's real, raw, mucky stories, and there's lots of fun involved. And if you're on a path of self-development, if you're on a path or a journey of becoming a better you, of personal and professional development in your speaking, in your listening, in your ways of being, your relationship building, no matter who you are, how old you are, or where you live, or what point you are in your career, there's always a chance and there's always a way that we can smile more, breathe more, and become who we're meant to be. I hope you had a great time listening to these tips. Pick up my next book and keep listening to Robert Plank's Marketer of the Day podcast. I'm Elizabeth Barry, and be kind to yourself.
This is Robert Plank, and would you like to be a guest on the program? Do you have an idea for a future episode, or do you just want to tell us how we're doing? Get in touch with us right now at marketeroftheday.com/ask to let us know.